Hello and welcome back to Pass the Turn. Today's episode is going to be a bit more of a podcasty episode in nature, so please make sure you leave a comment or a like in the description box below if you do like the format. Today we've got Josh and Troy, which you would have seen in some sort of video in the top corner, which you can see at the moment. So say hello, lads.
Bonjour.
Bonjour. Nice bit of French. Lovely.
Oui.
And hello.
Hello.
I went a bit Harvey there.
Do you want to give us a bit of a background of where you are at the moment, Josh, your surroundings?
Oh yeah, I'm in a room that has 4 walls.
Okay, yeah, narrows it down. On the throne.
Yes.
Throne of Aldrin.
No, I'm not in the toilet.
Oh,
no.
you're not? Oh, okay.
I opted for the guest room.
Oh,
Nice.
lovely. So we're going to be chatting about the Theros Beyond Death wishlist for Commander. I think most of it has all been spoiled now, so we're going to be chatting about all of the cards that are on our lists. And if there's any cards that people want when they're released, make sure you go check out our affiliate link in the description box below with Magic MADHOUSE and Big Orbit cards. Any cards you want will help support us directly if you go purchase them through those channels, so go and do that.
Yeah, and you'll find we also have a Liliana market. Aaron sells a lot of his cards on there. I sell cards on there as well, and you'll find that Troy also sells cards. We will put a link in the description of that as well.
Oh yeah, we're all on there now, aren't we?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sale.
Yeah, I'll do that as well then. So yeah, let's go and check that out in the description box. But we're gonna go and go through the colours of what cards we've selected. So if we start with multicoloured cards, so obviously that's going to be the main sort of attraction to Commander is multicolour, isn't it? So we'll start with multicoloured cards and then go into the mono stuff, I think. So who wants to start with a multicoloured card?
I can go ahead.
Yeah.
unless you want to, Troy. All right, okay then.
I've got one, but yeah, you go ahead.
Yeah.
Oh, this would be funny if it's the same one, but we'll see.
Yeah.
So my choice for multicoloured is a creature card, a legendary enchantment creature card, Athros, Shroud, Veiled, or Veiled, however you want to say it.
Oh,
so
black
this
and
is
white.
So this is a 6 mana cost, indestructible creature.
Yeah.
And as long as your devotion to a white and black is less than 7, Athros isn't a creature. Normal god stuff, basically.
Yeah.
At the beginning of your end step, put a coin counter on another target creature. Whenever a creature with a coin counter on it dies or is put into exile, return that card to the battlefield under your control. So the reason why I like this is essentially it avoids that exile ruling. So the only real way that the creature with a coin counter on it isn't becoming yours is if it's returned to hand. So it's pretty good. I mean, it's a big mana cost and it's a slow card. It's definitely a Commander card. You won't see this in any other format. I really doubt you'll see it in any other format. But and it's also, to point out, this is the what is it? The box topper, or do they call it a box topper, or the extra card you get on the top of it?
Oh, is it not in the set then? Actually, in the set.
Well, it is within the set. You just can't get it in a booster pack unless you buy a booster box.
I see, like Kenrith was in Eldraine.
Is it
Exactly.
buy a box promo? No.
Yeah, that's it. Buy a
what you
box
mean?
promo.
Yeah,
exactly. Yeah.
Okay.
So it's got a pretty bulky body, 4/7. Obviously, it's indestructible. So the 7 on it, I sort of think, well, I mean, maybe that avoids some removal. Any -5.
It's just the fact that you can put coins on any creature. It doesn't say yours or your opponent's. It says another target creature. So you can you can protect your own stuff, but you can also nick other people's as well, which is what I think is really good. And it's exile as well. Exile or dies.
Yeah, exile is the important part on this because the dice part has been seen on other cards before. There's that enchantment, Grave Betrayal, that brings back other creatures to your side, which is very cool. But I've tried to use this in a deck before, but it's a little bit too clunky for my style of play. But I think this one is just flexible enough for the clunkiness not to matter, and it's also a mana cheaper.
Yeah, it's pretty sick card. Athreos was in the previous Theros set as well. But yeah, this one is Yeah, he's back.
He's back.
Yeah. But yeah, that's a pretty sick choice. Is it going to be in your Kalia deck then? You said, was it?
Probably not. This might be in another deck at some point, probably as a commander, maybe. But no, I think it's a bit too slow for my Kalia deck. But there are other cards in this list that will be in the Kalia deck, as well as cards that will be in the new deck that I'm building.
Oh yes.
Nice. Yeah, good choice.
Awesome.
What's yours then, Troy?
Okay, so it's another black and white. It's not one I'm probably going to buy.
Yeah.
But if I was going to make a black and white deck, possibly this.
Yeah.
I might butcher some of these pronunciations tonight.
Yeah.
But Kunaros, Hound of Athreos.
Oh yeah.
Legendary creature. It's a hound.
Yeah.
It's a 3/3. It costs 1 and a black and white.
Yeah.
Vigilance, Menace, Lifelink.
Wow.
Creature cards in graveyards can't enter the battlefield, and players can't cast spells from graveyards. So I saw this and instantly thought of Josh.
Oh,
yeah, that's horrific.
Just thought of how horrible it would be.
I've actually got
to play against.
I've actually got literally, which I'll flash up on the video now. I saw this card and I said to Josh, "Don't let Troy see this card." I've actually got a message on Facebook Messenger saying, "Don't let Troy see this card because he will use it to hate on your Kalia deck."
I mean, this is like us three is like the core set of our play group. And
oh yeah.
For one of us, if any of us run that, my Kalia deck's going in the bin.
Yeah.
I had a little chuckle because I saw it was a legendary and thought, "Oh, that's horrible."
Yeah.
For Josh.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially when you think about what else you can partner that up with, like Leyline on the Void and stuff like that, and you think, oh,
It's a pure hatred deck.
Yeah.
Pure hatred.
But not only that, it's a 3/3 for 3 mana that has Vigilance, Menace, and Lifelink, which is ridiculous.
It's also got 3 heads.
Yeah.
Theme of 3 there.
Theme of 3.
Theme of 3.
Well, I love it.
Aaron, do you have any multicoloured ones?
I had a multicoloured one, yeah. So my one is Uro, Titan of Nature's Wrath. So he's a legendary creature, elder giant. So he's based on the Greek mythology is the Titans, and obviously the Titans were caged up by the gods, weren't they? Because they were too powerful. And
oh yes.
If you've seen like the Immortals or Clash of the Titans, they're the ones that are released from Tartarus.
Percy Jackson's Lightning Thief.
Yeah, all those Greek things, mythology. Yeah, that's what it alludes to. But yeah, it's a Simic color card, so green, blue, and 1. When it enters the battlefield, sacrifice it unless it escaped. So escape is a new mechanic in the set where you can cast it from your graveyard for its escape cost, as well as exiling cards from your graveyard. So when it enters the battlefield, sacrifice it unless it escaped. But when it enters the battlefield or attacks, you gain 3 life. You draw a card, and you can put a land from your hand onto the battlefield when it enters or attacks, which is absolutely ludicrous. So when
insane value.
It is, yeah. So and it can be in your command zone. So you can have draw a card, gain life, and put a land from your hand onto the battlefield in your command zone with Uro, which is ridiculous. So he's like an accentuated growth spiral. So growth spiral does the same thing. It's green and blue, and it says draw a card. You can put a land card from your hand onto the battlefield. So it's just.
But it also has that life gain on top of it.
Life gain on top of it, and you can bring it into the battlefield for 3. Get that value, sacrifice it to your graveyard. You can put it in your graveyard, or you can be like, oh no, I'll put him back in my command zone, and now it'll cost 5 to bring out, and you can just do it. You can just keep doing it, or send him to the graveyard. So it's just having that value in either zone.
I suppose if you've got a graveyard, then it's probably easier to send him to it.
Yeah,
if you're willing to exile cards.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, it's 5 other cards you have to exile. So
yeah, 5.
I feel like you're probably, unless you build your deck completely around it, you'll be dropping him turn 2 or 3.
Yeah. And
then when he dies, you'll send him to your command zone. You'll drop him again, and then after that, you'll be escaping him.
Yeah.
Because you won't unless you build around it, you won't be having 5 cards in your graveyard. Another thing about escape to mention, which is actually crazy, and we'll go over this later, is that you don't exile it after you escape as well. So it escapes, and then if it goes back into the graveyard, it can escape again,
Yeah.
which is absolute madness.
Yeah, so I just think that having that escape mechanic is just great, because you can send him to the graveyard and then just keep casting it for his escape cost, as long as you can pay the other exile cost as well.
Yeah.
So you could just build like a spell slinger deck where you just cast in loads of little small spells
Random
to
spells,
fill up your grave. And Simic is great for value stuff as well, so that's why I want to get it. It might go in my green blue Kraken deck, but I think it's just too good to be ignored there. But we'll see what happens with that.
I mean, I think it should either be a one-off in your Kraken deck or the commander of your Kraken deck, to be honest.
Yeah. That's what I was thinking. But yeah, definitely right up my street with that. Just Simic value. Any other?
Yeah, I have two more. If you boys have any, do you have any?
I don't personally, but yeah, crack on.
No, it's all mono from here.
All right, so another one is Rise to Glory. Now, when I saw this card, I was like, holy crap, what can I do with this? So essentially, it costs 5 mana, a white, a black, and 3, and you choose one or both. Return target creature card from the graveyard to the battlefield. or return a target or a card from your graveyard to the battlefield. So in my Kalia deck, this card can cause absolute disgusting swings of turns.
Oh, yeah.
So there's multiple uses of this. So the main use I'll be using this for is either to return something with any creature card, really. And if I've already got haste on the battlefield with Urbrask or my Dragon Lord Colligan, then I'll be getting something like Gisela back that gives double damage, and then I'll be pinging Phresis on him to give him her infect, and then that's just someone dead.
Someone's ended.
Someone's life.
Yeah.
And if I'm not in that position, let's say I need to get Colligan back from the graveyard, it'd be Colligan with like something like what's that Eldrazi
Eldrazi Conscription.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so then Colligan just becomes like a 16/16 haste annihilator 2.
Yeah.
Trample.
That's outrageous.
Wow.
So yeah, that card is definitely going in the Kalia deck. It's
I imagine so.
Yeah. I mean, just looking at that card, it doesn't jump out, but to you, Josh, I guess it screams.
Oh yeah.
I saw it earlier and just didn't take much notice.
Yeah, it's pretty ludicrous. It's like, can you get Animate Dead out of the grave with that as well?
Yeah, you can. So you could essentially get a creature back, Animate Dead, get back something else, something like a Sun Titan or something like that, and then pick Phresis off on top of it as well. Just insane.
Yeah, it's definitely a good card for your deck. Definitely.
Very, very good card. I don't know where else you would see it be played. Probably just enchantments and stuff like that. It's specifically good for my deck. Any sort of reanimation with slight enchantments and stuff like that in there, it's perfect. There was another card which is hopefully going to go into my other deck that I'm building, which is Ashiok Nightmare Muse.
Yes, it looks quality, this card.
Oh yeah.
It looks utterly amazing.
It looks insane. The art is insane as well.
Yeah.
I think Ashiok is like definitely a fan favorite of art. It's just like so amazing.
Yeah, he is quality.
Is it a he or a she?
Oh, you just don't know these days, do you?
I'm not sure. I'd say it was a she, but
yeah, there's no flavour
it's
text
hard to
that gives
tell.
it away.
Who knows?
All I know is it's got horns on its head.
Yeah.
Anyway, this card is a 5 mana drop, blue, black, 3 colourless.
Yeah.
It's a planeswalker, and it comes in with 5 loyalty, and its +1 is create a 2/3 blue and black nightmare creature token with whenever this creature attacks or blocks, each opponent exiles the top 2 cards of their library.
Nice.
So this is I mean, that in itself is not anything too fantastic, but if you had the right deck built with this card as a support card in this, I don't think you would use this as anything else, really. Well, you can't use it as a commander anyway, but I think this is probably only going to see play in Commander if it does. But it does build up to later. So -3, return target non-land permanent to its owner's hand. Then that player exiles a card from their hand.
Yeah.
So if someone's got no hand, you're just exiling a permanent.
Yeah.
Just -3. And then this, if you get to this point, we all play Planeswalkers, and rarely do we get to ultimate them. But the ultimate option is you may cast up to 3 face-up cards in your opponent's own from exile without paying their mana costs. So Ashiok will probably see play in a deck of mine with Alamog the Ceaseless Hunger, just so you get that value. You've exiled 20 cards from Alamog at least from one attack. This thing comes ultimates, and you just take pretty much whatever you want.
20, eh? Yep.
It's ridiculous.
Crazy.
Utterly amazing.
So is that new deck going to be sort of exile based then? Is it? Yeah,
I think so. It's just really tricky to find the right support cards for it. Especially, I want to use Kaya's abilities and stuff like that as well. So, we'll see. I mean, it might just be a sort of mill exile deck, but I mean, at a certain point, it's like, well, if you're milling, exiling it afterwards overkill. So I'm trying to create a strategy where exile is the main purpose and mill is just like a side part of it.
Yeah, it sounds good. Looking forward to seeing that, because I've only seen your Kali deck for the last 29 times of the time we've played Commander. It's good. It's a good one though, because obviously they say that the best commanders can protect themselves, and creating a 2/3 for +1, the exile stuff as well that feeds into the later ability, I think is pretty good.
Yeah. I mean, it can't be used as a commander itself, unfortunately. It can be used in Oathbreaker.
Yeah.
So it's good in that, but I mean, it does protects you because you're getting a token. So I mean.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure what I said. Did I say the best commanders can protect themselves? I meant the best planeswalkers can protect themselves.
Yeah.
That's what I meant. But yeah, definitely.
Right, should we move on to the next colour?
Yeah, so we'll go on to mono colours now, and this is pretty much what Theros is all built on, is all the devotion and, being devoted to a certain colour, and, me and Troy love mono stuff as well, so going to be good. So should we start with green? Has everyone got green?
Oh, I've got green.
I do not have green.
Troy's got green for days, though, hasn't he?
Oh, yeah. Every deck.
All about green.
So, what have you got for green, first of all, then?
Do I announce a new commander?
Oh.
Let's get it. We'll start with the best.
Yeah.
So, my mono green deck is getting a new commander, it seems.
Ooh, okay.
God Eternal Ronas is out.
Yeah.
Not out.
He's still in the 99.
He's going to stay in the 99 because his ability,
It's a win con. Yeah, it's a win con on a stick.
It's a win con, and also being able just to chuck him back in the deck third from the top. It might as well just keep him.
Yeah.
Troy, do you have any hints about what kind of card this might be?
It's a legendary enchantment creature god.
Oh, so would the keen-eyed listener know what this could be?
Oh, I'm sure they would be. If they've got a keen eye. So it is. Any guesses?
Does it wield a bow and arrow?
Oh yes.
There we go. Yeah.
Yeah, it's Nylia Keen-eyed.
Yeah.
Yeah, an absolute god. 5/6. It costs 3 and a green. Indestructible. As long as the devotion to green is less than 5, she isn't a creature. She or he. I'm guessing it's a she.
Yeah.
So, 5 devotion in green, especially my green deck, is going to be pretty consistent, I think. So the main reason I've picked it is because obviously it's creature heavy. So creature spells I cast cost 1 less to cast.
Yeah.
Perfect. a colourless, obviously. And then you can also pay 2 and a green. You reveal the top card of your library. If it's a creature card, you put into your hand. Otherwise, you can put it into your graveyard if you choose.
Yeah.
So it's a good way just to kind of mill through, get creatures out. Maybe get rid of cards you might not need at the time.
Yeah, it's just a good way of selecting what you want to have.
Yeah.
And
am I right in saying that your green deck has Brawn in it?
It also has Brawn, yes.
So you could ditch Brawn to the graveyard, right?
Yep.
Oh, no, it does say reveal the top card of your library. If it's a creature card, put it in your hand. But that doesn't really matter if you fill up your hand and then drop it in the graveyard at the end of turn. But
yeah, sorry, no, yeah, you couldn't just ditch Brawn, could you? But you could obviously get Brawn a turn quicker, I guess.
Yeah, and also at the same time, with this card, by the other cards being put to your graveyard, that's a good thing because you can sift through your deck with enough mana.
Yeah,
it's like card selection, card advantage on your commander, which is good.
Yeah.
If you know you got a card coming up that's no use, you can just. It says you may put it into your graveyard as well.
Yeah.
It's not like you have to.
So you don't. You don't have to. I guess you just chuck it back on if it's something you might want.
Yeah.
You know, Triumph of the Hordes or something evil.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, definitely. Oh,
but yeah, it's like peace of mind for me because it's like indestructible as well, and it's just get out and boom, you're away.
Yeah, I like that, and you're just getting value.
I guess it interacts as well with some of the bigger stuff because I've got things like, is it Ronus's Monument?
Yeah.
Emerald Medallion, is it as well? Yeah. I think they're both in there, so it kind of
So you potentially reduce your card cost by about 3 on your creatures. Well, that's insane.
I could possibly end up only needing the actual green part of the mana cost. Yeah, hopefully.
Yeah. If got to turn a Ronas for 1 mana or 2 mana.
I think 2 mana.
That's pretty good.
Insane.
Crazy. Yeah, but I thought I'd kick off with that.
Any card that ramps you from the command zone is always good.
Crazy.
So I've got a green pick next. I think this is my only mono green pick, and this is called Arasta of the Endless Web.
Was that a spider by chance?
That's the spider one, yeah.
Oh yeah, I looked at that earlier. It looks great.
Yeah, it's awesome. I mean, it's not gonna be a commander. So any sort of spider tribal deck will want it as a replacement for just a generic spider, though. So. It's not good enough to be the actual commander, but a great card for the spider tribe. So it's a 3/5 with reach, and it costs 4 mana. And whenever an opponent plays an instant or sorcery, you get a 1/2 spider with reach. So it's basically everyone's going to be playing instants or sorceries at some point. So you're going to be getting more and more spider tokens, which if you're playing a tribal deck will then synergize with stuff like Coat of Arms and Vanquisher's Banner and all the stuff that will pump your tribe. So yeah, that's one of my picks for a spider tribal deck that I am yet to build. But probably be Ishkanar or something like that. I've been trying to do it for a long time, but I haven't got around to it. But yeah, that's one of my picks for mono green.
I would like to see that Ishkanar deck be built. I think that'd be something quite unique.
Yeah.
I also think this deck, this card could be a commander. If they had dropped the cost maybe by 1 colourless or 1 green and dropped her attack maybe down to a 1/5, because it could be used as a commander that's not normally going to attack, but you just want that value. Even if it dropped to like a 1/5 and it was a 2-drop, I know that sounds crazy, but it means that you're getting that value earlier on, because later on in matches people aren't playing that many instant and sorcery spells unless they're going to win the game. So I think it's very selective what you'd be going against. And I think more than likely, if someone's going to path to exile, it's going to come at your Arasta, so they don't get the value.
Yeah, and that's why she's not. That's why she wouldn't be fit for a commander. If she was a 1 green and 1 other, like a Deadly Recluse, like 1/2 reach, Death Touch. Whenever an opponent casts instant sorcery, create a spider. Then 100%, I probably would run it. Because everyone, you'd want to get the spiders for people Kodama's reaching or Nature's.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what I'm saying. And maybe even drop it to make it if you wanted to make it harder to cast, it's green-black, and then you have the extra color in there as well. That would have been, I think, a really good. Yeah, and then you're not even pushing the card because this card just wouldn't see much play anywhere really.
No.
It's only really going to be seen in Spider Tribal.
Yeah.
Although it being an enchantment, there may be something else for it there. Who knows?
Yeah, again, it's that'll be good for Ishkanar, because Ishkanar cares about delirium. So if you put an Arasta in your graveyard, that counts as an enchantment and a creature to fuel the delirium. So
yeah, exactly.
it's perfect for that sort of deck. But yeah, not good enough for a commander, but definitely Spider Tribal. So that's my green pick. Any green picks for you, Josh? Or
Nice.
No, for me. I know that Troy will.
You dirty man.
What's what colour do you want to move on to now then, Josh? Then, if you haven't got any green.
Oh no, Troy's got some more green. He can go.
You have. Oh, okay.
Green. So I've got 2 definites. I've got a couple of just honourable mentions as well. So I'll go through them quickly.
Yeah.
So the next 2 cards coming up are potentially just swap outs for certain things in my Skullbriar deck.
Yeah.
So the first one is Hydra's Growth. It's enchantment aura. It costs 2 and a green. So you enchant creature, and then when Hydra's Growth enters the battlefield, you put a 1/1 counter on enchanted creature.
Yeah.
And then at the beginning of your upkeep, you double the number of +1/+1 counters on enchanted creature.
Shit.
No.
Something like Skullbriar, or even other creatures. I mean, I've got
Primordial Hydra. Oh.
My word.
It just shouted at me because
God.
I've kind of got rid of a few of the cards that only put, say, like 1 counter on him.
Yeah.
And I've tried to replace it with ones that give him more power quickly or more counters. But this one's just like, get it on him, get rid of the aura, otherwise he's getting bigger.
Yeah, 1 turn swing, and that changed.
Much bigger, much quicker, basically. So yeah, that was
It makes your commander a Primordial Hydra, because that has the ability that it doubles upkeep. So
ridiculous.
That's insane.
Yeah.
Literally, it'll become lethal much quicker. So yeah.
And the counters don't go away either. Once you
No.
doubled them, they're staying on there. It doesn't matter.
So yeah.
Yeah.
You might need to buy a couple of cards off me, Troy. Buy a Primordial Hydra and a Colonian Hydra off me.
I think I might have had a Colonian Hydra at one point. I'm not sure.
Very powerful card.
Yeah, Hydras always look good. Just not really my thing. But
Hydras used to be my favourite. I think they probably
say like Hydra Tribal would be like great.
You have a Hydra Tribal deck.
Yeah.
He does, yeah.
I thought you did.
Yeah, with Gargos as the commander, but that's yet to be seen on the channel.
That'll have to go.
That's got to come out now.
Yeah, it's got to come out.
Well,
Talia miss for 1 week.
to be fair, it is very that deck is very, very explosive. Extreme power on the table. It can be targeted quite easily, but there's extreme power on the table from the get-go. So yeah, we'll have to see that at some point.
Yeah. I'll give you the other one for Skullbriar quickly. It's called Mantle of the Wolf.
Yeah.
Costs 3 and a green. Another enchantment aura. You enchant creature, it gets +4/+4. And then when Mantle of the Wolf is put into a graveyard from the battlefield, you create 2/2 green wolf creature tokens.
Oh.
So you give in Skullbriar or whatever creature it may be, probably Skullbriar.
Yeah.
It gets +4/+4. Much better than just like a 1 counter. And then if Skullbriar dies or this enchantment dies, I get 2/2 wolves for nothing as well.
Yeah, that's the key part of it. It's when Mantle of the Wolf is put into the graveyard, not when the creature.
No.
So if someone exiles or returns your commander to your hand, you're still getting the trigger from Mantle of the Wolf, and you've got blockers to stop them. That's really good.
Yeah, that is good. Yeah, because obviously Skullbriar's, he's big beefy guy. Normally, sometimes out on his own. So yeah, if he gets returned or killed or exiled, you're going to be left with defenders, which is good. I like that.
Yeah.
That's really good.
Awesome. And the artwork on it is just insane.
Yeah.
I've got to say, this like bear creature is amazing what they've done with it.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
like,
I
it's
mean-
like constellation art, isn't it? It's like the
Yeah.
the creatures made of stars and galaxy.
Yeah.
Which looks awesome.
Oh, it's great. Yeah.
You also saw that a little bit on the spider we've talked about
Oh,
previously on
if
on
you,
the
you
legs.
look through some of the cards, and it's like sometimes really subtle, but it works. It's great.
Mm.
Aaron, have you got any others, or do you want me to quickly go through just a couple of honourable mentions?
Yeah, if you've got a couple of honourable mentions in green,
Yeah.
I haven't got
Still
anything
on
else.
green?
Yeah.
Okay. Right, here we go. So this was a maybe for my mono green deck. I don't think there's room for it at the moment, but you never know.
Yeah.
It's called Clothesis Design. It's a sorcery for 5 and a green.
Yeah.
And it's creatures you
Oh,
control get
gosh.
+X until end of turn, where X is your devotion to green. So obviously,
Nice.
the more devotion you got, the bigger the creatures are going to be.
Yeah.
That's horrendous.
Yeah, I saw that. It's kind of like just another little win con if you're creature heavy, I guess.
As long as you've got trample, that's a win con right there.
Oh, and trample. I should mention, actually, speaking of trample, I am going to add in the other Nylia god as well, which gives all creatures trample.
God of the Hunt.
Oh god.
Yeah.
Yeah, or I think it's just my creatures, I believe, but yeah. I know it's not part of the set, but yeah, it's going to team up. I'm going to have like Team Nylia, basically.
Yeah,
Three.
it's all in Theros. It's all all on the same plane. It's all relevant.
Just like three, yeah, just the 3 gods in one deck. I don't know if there's a limit.
No.
But yeah, obviously it's quite a high cost, but obviously I can reduce that with some of my other cards in the deck. But
It
yeah,
can also close the game. It could just close
Yeah,
the
Yeah.
game.
it's a game
it's
ender.
just another way of getting it. I mean, it's still going to be a maybe.
Mm.
If I can fit it in, I will at some point. But yeah, that's that one because I mean, you only need a few devotion. It gets a bit lethal.
No, exactly.
Yeah.
And the other one that I know is fairly pricey already. It's called Dryad of the Elysian Grove.
Oh, yeah.
It costs 2 and a green. It's an enchantment creature nymph. It's a 2/4, and it just says you may play an additional land on each of your turns, and then lands you control are every basic land type in addition to their other types.
Yeah, that card's going to be a very expensive card for a long time.
I was going to say, yeah. I did know it's a rough estimate, UK pounds, £12 at the moment, I believe it is.
Yeah, that's going to see play in all sorts of formats.
Yeah, I mean, if you can put it in a multicolored deck, you get more value from it, I guess.
It's a chromatic lantern on a creature.
Yeah. I mean, playing an additional land on each of your turns is just insane without any, you're not having to sacrifice any cards or anything to do it. It's just play an extra one.
It's very similar to another card as well. There's a card called Prismatic Omen, which is printed in Shadowmoor, and it says exactly the same thing. It says lands you control are every basic land type in addition to the other types. It's an enchantment which costs green and 1. And if you look on Liliana Market, the cheapest one is 15 quid. So it is going to be a high value card, that one.
Yeah,
just
exactly.
Because of the effect, isn't it?
Yeah, and you can additional land and a body as well is going to bring that back.
Yeah.
Bring that up by about 5 quid. So it's going to be like 20 quid card, 100%.
Yeah. But yeah,
it's probably good to also mention another card within green before we move from green is Nyx Bloom Ancient.
Oh god, yeah.
Okay.
So this is a 7-drop, 3 green and 4 colourless.
Yeah.
5/5 trample, and if you tap a permanent for mana, it produces 3 times as much as that mana instead. So a soul.
Oh yeah, I saw that. Oh, crazy.
Command Zone did a whole episode on it, didn't they?
Yeah, so we won't touch on that. You would have watched that already.
Yeah.
But we know how ridiculous this card will be. It's obviously we will mention it.
Yeah.
I mean, get it in a mono green deck, reduce the cost of it.
I mean, you play this card, if it comes back round to your turn, you're going to go off.
I mean, yeah. I mean, imagine.
And if you're not going off, you played your deck. You've made your deck wrong.
Yeah. Yeah.
If you make a mono green deck wrong, then give up on mono green.
just give up on life.
Yeah. But no.
All right, move on to the next colour.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's move on.
So what should we do next?
Josh, do you want to pick?
Well, I have the only color I have now, apart from a colorless card. Well, that's not a color, but it's just red now.
Okay. Well, I've got blue, white, and black. I've got one of each of them. So.
What have you got?
I've got black and blue and artifact.
All
Yeah.
right, let's do the other color. Let's do artifact. Why not?
Oh yes, let's do it.
All right, so the artifact that I have is Soul Guide Lantern. So when this enters the battlefield, exile target card from a graveyard. Doesn't seem that great. Costs 1 mana, but you can sacrifice it, exile each opponent's graveyard, and that costs no mana. And the other ability on it is pay 1 mana and sacrifice it to draw a card. So this is, a versatile card that can instant speed, stop reanimation, stop a lot of things.
I imagine that's going to go in your aforementioned sort of exile deck then, yeah?
Yeah, exactly. This is exactly how I found it.
Wow.
I was like, right, that's perfect.
Tapping it to exile every opponent's graveyard.
Yeah.
Taking cards back for yourself.
Yeah, that's not very nice.
Very nice.
I mean, it might even go into my Kalia deck just due to the low cost. So you can come back with Sun Titan. I can sacrifice it to draw a card, or I'm going to Twilight Call, and that would bring back everyone's stuff. But it's not going to happen because you've got nothing in your graveyard.
Yeah, it's pretty horrendous.
Yeah, I did see this card. Nothing shouted at me, but
That's because we don't really do graveyard stuff, do we?
That's exactly it. I mean, there's all types of players. It's crazy how Josh could abuse that.
Yeah.
And we look at it and think, whiff.
Yeah.
Not for us.
That's what it's all about.
Yeah.
So that's an artifact from Josh. I might say one that's probably going to cross over, but this is Nyx Lotus.
Yes, amazing.
Is that on your list as well? Is it?
I need about 4 or 5 on my list, I think.
Oh wow.
Of these, it's
Nice.
just if you talk about Aaron, I'll explain why certain decks I might need it.
Yeah, so just in general, it's an awesome card for any monocolor deck. Any monocolor deck, this is going to be really, really good.
Yeah.
So it could easily put you, 3 or 4 turns ahead after it becomes untapped, as long as your devotion's in the right place.
Yeah.
It can put you massively ahead if you've got the untap on it. So it's ridiculous. Good for any monocolor deck.
Yeah, it does look good. I'll add to it a bit. Because my devotion to green's in the right place, I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
So basically, I want this in my green deck as a replacement for Gilded Lotus.
No. Gotta have both.
At the moment, I'm just going to replace it and see how I go. Just because it's cheaper. I mean, it comes in tapped Nyx Lotus, but I think with mono green you can wait. And I just think it'll just be easy to get more mana value out of it than the Gilded Lotus. But we'll see. They might both end up in there at some point again. But yeah, I think it'd be better value just for the green deck with what I'm going for now. I thought about putting it in my Mogus deck as well.
Yeah.
Just because sometimes I get a bit stumped for lands. Like I sometimes miss land drops, 2 or 3. Not always like turn after turn, but I fall behind a lot, so I can't always get. I just need to get more stuff out.
And also, you will always have the devotion there on the Mogus deck because that's the nature of the deck. It's just enchantments.
Yeah.
For days.
Yeah. I mean, it just wouldn't. It's not going to hurt in most decks. It's just a bit of ramp, especially. Certain colours that don't have much ramp.
White.
Not going your way, yeah. Chuck a Nyx Lotus in your deck, why not? I think it could be a commander staple.
Yeah,
I think you're right there, mate.
Yeah.
Especially in monocolours, definitely.
Definitely. I mean, you can't go wrong. Yeah. I mean, I just want to put it in the green deck to see if at some point, you can tap for,
Ludicrous mana.
ridiculous amounts.
Yeah.
I mean, if I get the commander out, and then if I put the other Nylia in, I think they're both worth 4 green anyway. So you're going to get at least 4 every time, because unless you find a way to get rid of them, not sure how,
horrific.
you're going to get at least 4 plus anything extra. So yeah, it's a no-brainer, really, isn't it?
Yeah, it's definitely a lovely mana rock from the set.
Yeah.
Next artifact.
Go.
I've got one that I think will be a commander staple, and that's Shadow Spear.
Oh,
Yeah.
Shadow Spear, yes.
Yeah, it's a ridiculous card. I think it's going to be a staple because it's got whatever you equip it to is going to get +1/+1, and lifelink and trample.
Oh my god!
Just ridiculous. Just like a discount Loxton Warhammer, but not only that, it can get round hexproof and indestructible. So any sort of indestructible creature, untargetable creature can say bye-bye to its protection shield.
And the important part of it is that isn't an equipped. It doesn't have to be equipped to have that ability. It can just activate it by being on the field.
Yeah.
Ridiculous.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I mean,
it's not even target permanent. It's permanent.
Yeah.
It's just there to hate on those ridiculous cards like Avacyn and Sigarda.
And obliterate.
I mean, I know I definitely have done it recently. Aaron, I think you did it with your Voltron troll guy. What's his name?
Thrum.
We've got similar artifacts and things to give Voltron commanders indestructible, hexproof, you name it, we've got it, and that could just say bye-bye to it.
Oh, so my troll, he's a hexproof guy. He never gets targeted, and then this Shadow Spear is just going to ruin his life. Bless him.
And it costs 1 to get out, equipped for 2.
Exactly. Yeah.
I thought about this for my Skullbriar deck. I mean, like you say, trample and lifelink. That's just.
Yeah, it's always good to have trample and lifelink and Voltron.
That's just added bonus. I mean, if I can get Skullbriar going with lifelink, it's just going to be insane.
Yeah, that's it.
But yeah, and hopefully I'd be able to equip it for free with one of my other cards. So yeah, even better.
Ludicrous.
What's the next artifact then?
I do have one.
Yeah.
I think it probably applies to me more than you guys, just because of some of the decks I have. Altar of the Pantheon.
Oh yeah, Altar.
Yeah. So it's just an artifact. It costs 3 mana. So it says your devotion to each color and each combination of colors is increased by 1.
Wow.
Oh.
Yeah. And then when you tap it, it taps for 1 mana of any color. If you control a god, a demigod, or a legendary enchantment, you gain a life.
That's really good.
Yeah, it's just a little mana rock, if you like, for but obviously with
Nyx.
With Nyx Lotus, you're getting an extra devotion for nothing, and I'm guaranteed to gain a life.
Yeah.
Because obviously I've got 3 gods in the green deck. I've got the Scarab God.
Oh yeah.
Deck. So I mean, this could be a card potentially for that, and also Mogis.
Yeah. Gods for days.
Gain a life, because obviously he takes a lot of life from everyone. So a little bit more life, unless I'm denying any player life gain. But hey ho. Yeah.
Yeah, 1 life's nothing to scuff at as well. Life gain is always good, no matter how much it is.
Yeah. I mean, it's just. I mean, for the cost and that, it's. I mean, you'd probably get similar cards. I can't remember any off the top of my head where you'd probably pay 3 just for 1 mana colorless.
Manalith. Oh no, not colorless, but
something like that. But this time you're getting a devotion, which I need definitely in a lot of my decks, and you're gaining a life. Pretty much.
If you got a god or something.
Definitely, yeah.
Very good.
Gods, but yeah, give a little shout out to that.
Definitely.
Aaron, anything for you?
No more artifacts for me, no.
No.
Let's go on to white cards.
White cards.
I do have a white card, even though I don't use any white.
Interesting.
It's just a nod.
I've got nothing in this category, so go.
I'll just get it out the way. It's called Heliod's Intervention.
Oh, yeah.
It's an instant. It costs X white, and you just choose one. You can either destroy X target artifacts and or enchantments.
Yeah.
So anyone using white, maybe against my Mogus deck, could basically end their life because I'd probably jump across the table, depending on how horrific it was.
Yeah.
Or a table flip, Monopoly style. Yeah. Or target player gains twice X life. So that's some serious life gain.
God, actually, can you imagine if someone used that, like Leo used that, whilst having Tainted Remedy or whatever it's called out?
Oh man, Tainted
wow.
Remedy.
Yeah.
Yeah, you could turn that, actually, couldn't you? You could turn that against someone.
Yeah, you could.
So
Yeah.
they lost. Oh man.
Stay tuned, viewers. Stay tuned. that is the next video that I've edited recently. Is Tainted Remedy being abused?
Yeah.
Oh.
That's
As
horrendous.
if it was bad enough. I mean, it's in the Mogus deck. It says it all.
Yeah, it's great.
There is another card I'll honourably mention in white, though. Unless, Aaron, if you've got something to say about that card.
I was just going to say it's part of an intervention set. There's like an intervention for each god, which you'll probably hear more interventions, as I've got some later. But it's all part of a set. Heliod, Thassa, they all have intervention cards, and that's just the gods. The gods of Greece were known for intervening with human affairs, and I think that's quite thematic. That's all I was going to say.
Yeah.
So the honourable mention for me is Shatter the Sky. It's basically destroy all creatures with each player who controls a creature with a power of 4 or greater draws a card, then destroy all creatures.
Saw this, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's quite cool. I mean, it's basically a guarantee me draw a card. I think it's okay in Commander, but you won't see this in many other formats. But yeah, I think it could be used in a few decks.
Saw this earlier, yeah.
Yeah, it's a nice little board wipe, and then in white, draw a card. Yeah, not bad.
Mm-hmm.
So let's move on to, let's say, black.
Yeah.
Okay. Who wants to go? I don't mind going first.
I have nothing in black.
Oh. I'll
on,
quickly
Troy.
get it out of the way then. So it's a reprint of a card that I do use. Grey Merchant of Asphodel.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Costs 3 black. Creature zombie. So when it enters the battlefield, each opponent loses X life, where X is your devotion to black, and then you gain life equal to the life lost this way.
Yeah.
So pretty cool card. It's in my Mogus deck. It's also in Scarab God, obviously being a zombie.
Yeah.
It's also a 2/4, so not too bad considering what it can do.
Yeah.
But yeah, hopefully with some extra devotion and things, depending on your board state at the time, it's kind of win-win. If you need a creature out quick and you can do it, get him out.
Yeah, I mean, it's a
Or
great...
you can, hold
great
him back and wait.
No, it's awesome as well, because obviously you gain life equal to the amount lost that way as well.
Yeah.
So you drain it, you drain from all your opponents and gain that much life, which is a crucial bit of text on that as well.
Yeah.
Basically, it's like a exsanguinate.
Mini exsanguinate.
Pretty much, yeah, a creature. And yeah, if your devotion's high, there's a lot of life to gain, a lot of life for people to lose. They've
A
obviously
lot of
changed
hatred on the table.
Yeah.
They've changed the artwork, obviously, and it just looks really good, I thought.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah,
Comparing
It
it to
looks
the one
like-
that I already own, yeah.
it looks like Timurit.
Oh, yeah. Timret's in there as well, isn't he? But yeah.
So, Aaron, Troy, is that all the black cards you have?
Yeah, it was just a little shout out to that. I will buy one of these just because I like the artwork and I do need another copy of one. So, yeah.
not?
It's always worth having.
But I'm guessing Aaron's got some dirty black stuff.
I've only have 2, surprisingly, and they're both demons.
Oh,
Oh, okay.
dirty demons, yeah.
Dirty demons, yeah.
Got
So
your
the
name for it.
first one is called Nightmare Shepherd. So Nightmare Shepherd is a
Oh, very good card.
4/4 enchantment creature demon. So 4/4 flying, as all demons are. Costs 4 as well to bring out. Whenever another non-token creature you control dies, you may exile it. If you do, create a token that's a copy of that creature, except that it's a 1/1 and it's a nightmare in addition to its other types. So it protects your other creatures. if they were to die, they'd come back as 1/1s, but all their abilities and activated abilities are still there, so you can still utilise those.
Nice. Good cost as well, isn't it?
Yeah, 4/4 flyer for 4. Yeah,
For 4. Can't complain.
pretty decent.
What's the other demon then?
Other demon is only available as part of the theme boosters.
Oh, okay.
So you can only get it as if you buy those theme boosters, which I probably will get at some point. I'll just buy the single, but it's not going to be that. It's not going to be that sought after. So it's a 7/7 called Demon of Loathing.
Yeah.
So it's not ridiculously good, but it's just a demon that I want to add to collection because I collect them pretty much. 7/7 Flying Trample for 7 mana. Whenever he deals combat damage to a player, that player sacrifices a creature. So it's just a big fatty demon basically that I want to have. But apart from that, he just looks pretty cool as well.
Yeah.
It's like a demon, like a demon with a Superman cape on.
It almost looks like he's got like Loki horns, doesn't he? Or something.
Yeah.
The helmet he wears. Yeah.
Yeah.
He has.
What
It's like Superman cape.
Yeah, literally a Superman cape, Loki horns. Yeah.
Yeah, 7/7 as well. I guess with trample, you're probably it's flying as well.
I thought it kind of looked like an Eternal, from Bolas.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, it looks like one of Bolas's army, doesn't it?
Yeah, that's what I think it looks like.
It's a good card, but just a big demon. And the Theros is probably better because he's a different demon that when he attacks, they have to sacrifice a creature. It's not if the damage gets through.
Yeah,
instead.
I mean, yeah, with flying and trample, I mean, you've only got to attack someone without flyers to guarantee it.
Yeah, exactly.
7/7 as well. That's just not nice.
Yeah, it's just a big.
But that's what
demon.
demons do.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's good.
But yeah, that's the only ones I got for black. I mean, there's obviously you got your Erebos, God of the Dead, and whatever it is in there. But it's
those are the ones that shout out to you, aren't they?
Those are demons that shout out to me in particular. Yeah. So all I've got left is blue personally. So
yeah, you want to go with blue?
Blue. I've got something great.
Go on then, Troy. You go first, mate.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not really a blue player, but I don't think this is a card I'm going to use at any point. But I saw the artwork and then actually read the name. Then I read what it did, and it's just a I don't know what you'd call it. Ridiculously. I want to say ridiculously rubbish, but it's just funny. I mean, the artwork just alone, if I get it, I'd be quite happy. So, right, I'm going to attempt to pronounce it.
Yeah.
It's an enchantment aura. It's called
another one.
Ichthyomourphosis. It costs 2 of the blue. You enchant a creature. And then enchanted creature loses all abilities and is a blue fish with base power and toughness 0/1. That's it. But I mean, the artwork, this poor looking fish. Some guy has obviously been turned into a fish and just looks the most depressed I've ever seen something look ever.
And it said Chit's military career was a flop.
Yeah. A bit. He's left flapping. He is.
Yeah.
It's just like. Like Jabba the Hutt looks like.
I bet he's flipping furious.
Oh wow!
I was just like, oh wow. It just made me laugh.
That's good.
Aaron,
all I've got,
really. Is yours going to be an intervention?
One of my blue cards is an intervention. Yeah.
How many blue cards do you have?
4.
Alright, let's go.
So I've got Fast's intervention.
I'll read it out. It costs 2 blue and X.
Yeah.
And you choose one. Look at the top X cards of your library, put up to 2 of them in your hand, and put the rest at the bottom of your library in random order.
Yeah.
Or counter target spell and controller pays twice X. And it's an instant spell. Yeah. It's a very the artwork is sick, first of all. But yeah. I bring a flood that nothing can withstand.
Some of the bottom text on these cards are just crazy. I've been reading them as we go.
Flavor text is great.
Yeah.
Absolutely great.
Yeah, I just like it. I just like it. It'll probably go in the Kraken deck just because it can act as both a counter spell and card draw. So I can take out either one. I could take out a card draw spell or a counter spell because it has both on the card. So that's probably why it will go in there, just because it's multiple use, and that's always good in Commander. The choose one or whatever it is.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
get a lot of mana behind X, and if you're looking for a certain card in your deck, I guess.
No, exactly. Yeah, so you can try.
You
and
you
search for
can
it.
tilt it in your favour if you like, can't you?
Yeah.
Yeah,
exactly.
100%.
Pay, yeah.
I'll just go through some of the rest of my blue ones because they're all pretty much on the same sort of theme. So next one is Nadir Kraken. So this is a 2/3 Kraken creature which costs 3, so blue and 1, and it says whenever you draw a card, you may pay 1. If you do, put a +1/+1 counter on the Kraken, then create a 1/1 blue tentacle creature token.
That's really
Another
cool.
Kraken then.
Yeah, so basically,
Crazy.
whenever you draw a card, he's going to get bigger, and he's
Yeah.
going to spawn more tentacles, which I think is just so good on theme.
Yeah.
And it's
It's
just,
like it's essentially more blockers, but
Yeah.
within different in the idea of more creatures.
yeah. So it's good because my Kraken deck doesn't really have board state. It has big creatures, but not much
Yeah.
board state. So this does a bit of both. And if I've got spare mana floating around, I can pump it into the Nadir Kraken. So I thought that was a nice little tribe. And I think Krakens, Leviathans, Serpents are all going to appear in the next set in Ikoria as well. So
Oh yeah.
so it's going to.
I think this might be a hint to what to expect
Yeah,
coming
maybe.
forward from it.
Is
Because
this
it's a
the one
build your own
with?
creature theme.
Yeah, is this the build your own creatures?
Yeah. So
Something
what I'm
new,
thinking
isn't
here,
it?
yeah, this could be a little hint to it of what to expect. Creatures with different like parts to it, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
hope so.
that they also doing commander decks with that set, aren't they, as well?
They
the
are, yeah.
Is it
Yeah.
just 2, or is it the actual?
Well, it's the actual
5?
release. It's the actual release is coming out with that set. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
going to be tied to that theme, but yeah, it's going to be released with
So-
that set.
That could be interesting,
Yeah, definitely.
because but that's for another podcast, maybe
No, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
closer to the time.
Hit us with another one then, Aaron.
Hit us with another one. I've got two.
Please do not hit us with any of these, thank you.
Oh, this someone's definitely going to get hit with this one. This is.
Get whipped like how many tentacles times?
Yeah. This is Kiora this time. So Kiora bests the sea god. So Kiora basically went to Theros and stole Thassa's trident. So it's a ridiculous story which you can look at. Tolarian Academy actually did a video on that story.
Yeah.
So
Did,
go
didn't
and
he? Yeah.
check that out if you want to listen to that. But this is a saga, so it costs 7 to play. So the first lore counter is create an 8/8 blue Kraken with hexproof.
Nasty.
Oh god, you got to laugh.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. Although it's no good when Shadow Spear's out. Next lore counter is tap all non-land permanents target player controls, and they don't untap during the next controller's next untap step.
Wow.
So that's ridiculous.
So
Luckily,
that's 2 attacks in.
yeah,
Yeah.
two free attacks in with the Kraken that you just made. And then the third lore counter is gain control of target permanent and opponent controls and untap it. So it's just
Good value on that. Good value.
Loads of good value on that, and it's got 6 story behind it, which you can check out as well. And then finally, I have Thassa herself, Thassa Deep Dwelling. This is ridiculous because this is a Conjurer's Closet in your command zone, basically.
Oh.
So she is a 6/5 legendary enchantment creature god, costs 4, indestructible, god text, as you know, as we've gone through. At the beginning of your end step, exile up to 1 other target creature you control, then return that card to the battlefield under your control. So this would
That's very powerful.
be great in Rune or Yarok deck. So this is probably going to go in my Yarok deck when stuff is just entering the battlefield all the time.
Yeah.
And its innate ability is just pay 3 and 1 blue, tap another target creature, which could be useful as well. So
Yeah, I feel like that last bit, tap another target creature, that's underwhelming, but it will be useful. I feel like there could have been something there, like draw a card would have been better, but then that may have been too much on a card.
Yeah. I think what people are mainly looking at here is that Conjurer's Closet potentially in your command zone.
Yeah, indestructible Conjurer's Closet, but it's slightly weaker than Conjurer's Closet.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't do permanence.
Yeah, unfortunately not. It's just creatures, but Another thing with this is someone mentioned if you were to temporarily gain control of something till end of turn, it says here at the beginning of your end step, exile up to one other target creature you control, then return that card to the battlefield under your control. So you can actually nick people's creatures with this. If you were to
that would work.
Gain control of them.
Yeah.
And
Brilliant.
My last blue one is part of the theme boosters again, and this is Serpent of Yawning Depths. So this will go in the Kraken deck because it says Krakens, Leviathans, Octopuses, and Serpents cannot be blocked except by Krakens, Leviathans, Octopuses, and Serpents.
And nobody else plays. Oh, what was that? Serpents? Sorry, I haven't got the card up.
Krakens, Leviathans, Octopuses, and Serpents can't be blocked except by Krakens, Leviathans, Octopuses, and Serpents.
I thought I heard you say gods in there, and I was like, oh, no.
Oh, no, gods can still block because they're ridiculous. Oh no, they can't. No, they can't.
No, they can't.
No, I thought I heard you say gods, but then you didn't, and I was like, oh.
No.
That is disgusting.
That's us done, Josh. I don't think anyone plays serpents or krakens.
Yeah.
I'll have one Kraken in my new deck.
Josh, you play blue. You just need to get Ichthyophoses or whatever and turn it into a blue fish.
Orixmathes, yeah.
No, there is one card that can deal with this. Oko.
Oh, yeah. 3/3 elk.
3 elk.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, absolute hatred.
Oko banned in everything but Commander.
Yeah.
Let's go on to red, the final colour.
Go for it. I might have a little chat. There is something I might say about it. I just want to say, actually, it might sound silly, I'm not sure. The devotion on these gods... only being 5. I know, obviously. Does anyone know how they determine the devotion numbers?
Yeah, so it's devotion. So, for example, your Nyala will have 2 devotion on it already because it's 2 green. So you'd only need 3 more green, and then that's it. It becomes a creature.
No, but how? I just wondered if there was. Does anyone know how they choose how much devotion it needs to be a creature? It's just because obviously all of these seem that they're only 5.
Yeah.
But obviously my Mogus is 7, but I don't know.
That's because if it's multicolored, it's 2 colors.
Yeah, that's what I was going to think. So it's more because there's more chance, maybe.
Yeah, that's exactly it. Yeah.
Yeah. So the monocolor ones are 5, multicolored are 7. I think.
Oh, yeah. Standard rule, is it?
Normally,
yeah. I just thought, I thought maybe because it's monocolored, they were a bit cheaper. That was all. It just screams more at me because it's especially a green one. Wow. Yeah. No, let's move on to whatever you said, Josh. I forgot.
Right. So let's move on to a Thrill of Possibility, which is the card I'm going to be talking about. Thrill of Possibility, a reprint. So this is an instant card that costs 1 colorless and 1 red. And has an additional cost to cast it, discard a card, and you draw 2 cards.
Oh, nice.
So I didn't actually know about this card until I saw it in this set, and I thought, wow, that's perfect for my Kalia deck. Mostly because of that instant text there. So you could do that on the end of someone's turn and not give away any of your plan. You could just drop in, let's say, any big creature, and next turn reanimate it or animate dead it, whatever you want to do, and you get it back. Without the chance of it being removed by a Bajuka Bog or anything like that.
Yeah.
And you also draw 2 cards, which is ridiculous as well.
Yeah, drawing cards and then chucking stuff in to fuel your graveyard is just great strategy in Reanimator.
Yeah.
That is good.
So that's just a little honourable mention.
Yeah, I was going to say I was looking at something similar for my Mogus deck, actually, a card like that. So yeah, maybe that could... I don't know. It depends what you want, I guess. I mean, drawing 2 cards but only discarding 1 is probably better than drawing 2, discarding 2 for me. But
that Faithless Looting, is it?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, no, I would recommend Faithless Looting. It is very good. But
I was going to say it only costs 1 red as well, doesn't it? And you can flash back that one. But
that's Faithless Looting, yeah.
Depends what you want, but yeah.
That's also in my Kalia deck. Another red card, which we'll see Modern play, already is, and Pioneer play, is Underworld Breach. So this gives all non-land cards in your graveyard an escape cost equal to their mana cost, except you have to exile the other cards from your graveyard. So this is a combo card. This is ridiculous. In Kalia, this card's also great because I play it, and then I can cast any non-land card from my graveyard, exiling off any land stuff that I don't need anymore, and I just get back a card for 2 more than it would normally cost. But I have, if I have like, let's say 15 mana, I can get back a bunch of different things that may go together perfectly well as well.
And this obviously at the beginning of the end step, you sacrifice it as well. It's not like you exile it. So Underworld Breach goes in your grave, and then you can pull it back out with the card that you mentioned earlier. Return to whatever it was, Glory.
Yeah. Well, no. Return to Glory is in an aura, but with this, I can bring it back with Sun Titan or something like that.
Yeah.
That's it. Yeah.
You ain't really got to worry.
No, exactly. And then my last card in red, and my last card in all my cards that I've just chosen is Terror of Mount Velus.
Ooh, is that the aura? No.
No, this is a dragon that has flying and double strike. It's a 5/5 of 7 mana, which is 5 colorless and 2 red. But when it enters the battlefield, creatures you control gain double strike until the end of turn.
Ooh.
Oh, mate, that's ridiculous. I think that's in... you can only get that in the theme booster, though, so you have to buy that singular.
Yeah, I'll buy it singular, but essentially with this card...
I was going to say, you probably get it, won't you?
Yeah.
This just turns the odds of a game, like double striking with Gisela, and that is just like horrendous.
Yeah.
Double strike. Oh.
Well, it's a dragon as well, so you can fish for it with Kalia as well. So
yeah. Great.
Anyway, does anyone else have any red cards?
I might just give a shout out to the Perforos Bronze Blooded. Only because he's a god. I'll give a shout out to him.
Yeah.
It's just I see a lot of people online raving about it. I'll read it out. He's indestructible. Devotion less than 5. He's not a creature. He's a 7/6. He costs 4 and a red. It gives all your creatures you control haste.
Yeah.
Oh my god! I just read it.
And then you pay 2 and a red. You may put a red creature card or an artifact creature card from your hand onto the battlefield. Sacrifice it at the beginning of the next end step.
Right, so this teams up with Blightsteel Colossus horrendously.
I thought I'd give it a shout out because it's got a lot of talk. I've had a look on the internet. I think I see something on YouTube about him as well, and people are loving it. It's a bit more fair than the other Perforos as well.
Yeah, no, with this card, it's ridiculous though, because if you can get this out early enough, it's too expensive really to see maybe play in other constructed formats. But just think about it this way: you drop this turn. Let's say you this is your commander, and you drop it turn 4/5. The next turn, you play your Blightsteel Colossus from your hand for 3 mana with haste, 11/11 trample infect, and you just annihilate someone.
You could pretty much. Yeah.
No, it is a really, really good card. It's very, very similar to another one that called Felden of the Third Path. So Felden of the Third Path is 2 red and 1, so he costs 3, and he does exactly the same thing. It says pay 1 red and 2 and tap, create a token that's a copy of target creature card in your graveyard. It doesn't have to be red or artifact. It's target creature card in your graveyard, except it's an artifact in addition to its other types, and it gains haste. So it's a more expensive version of that.
What's that?
Felden. Yeah, Feldon.
I've never heard of that one before.
Yeah, it's really good. I've got a few of them. But yeah, Perforos is very, very similar to that, because this one gives you haste as well. But Perforos is good in the sense that it gives all your creatures haste anyway. This guy just gives your creature haste that you've reanimated. But
yeah, I know. I recognise the artwork now on that card. You've mentioned it.
Yeah, so it's
great beard.
Great beard. Yeah.
Wow, that's very good. That Felden.
I mean, it's good. I mean, a lot of red creatures have haste anyway, but it's I mean, so it's going to suit people. Probably not me, but
Yeah, it's just that red, it's that
Great.
that aggression of red, just
yeah,
bringing stuff out
If
your
you're-
grave, smashing face, and then dying, basically.
yeah. If you're into red, people are dead.
That's it, mate.
Okay, is there any other cards that we want to talk about?
That's pretty much it
I
for
don't-
me.
think so.
That's it for me as well.
Obviously, we've got some stuff on order, so hopefully we'll do the unboxings on video. Be
Yeah, so-
interesting to see if we get any cards that we're after.
Yeah, so definitely
Yeah.
keep up to date with the videos, because obviously the pre-release is going to come after this video.
Yeah.
But again, if you're looking to buy any cards, then make sure you go and check out our affiliate links with Magic Madhouse and Big Orbit. They'll both be in the description box below, and also go check out our own personal collections, which we will then probably use to put back into Magic cards, I expect. Just recycling the collection.
I do it all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm looking for another copy of Crucible of Worlds.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so buy Josh's
Start
card so we
selling.
can get another one.
Yeah. Yeah, give it a week or so, and I'll have a lot of Theros Beyond Death cards on there.
Yeah. So links in the description below.
Yeah.
For that.
Thank you very much for tuning in, and if you like this format, remember, like and subscribe, and let us know in the comments, because if it's something that you guys want to hear more of, then you like to hear our own opinion on things, or maybe you just like to scream at your phone or computer screen to say you guys are wrong, you're an idiot.
Yeah.
We want to hear that. We want to hear that. We want to know. We want that feedback. So put that in the comment section and let us know.
Yeah. I think it's going to be something that we do anyway, though, isn't it? Every set that comes out, we'll do it. But we might do it for other stuff if the demand's there.
I'll give my own personal opinion. This has been really fun. It'd be nice to do more. Yeah.
Yeah, we can definitely
Obviously,
do more.
definitely for the new sets, but yeah, maybe we can, I don't know, deck techs and things or something.
Yeah, maybe
Who knows?
Group deck techs, maybe. Yeah.
Oh, bad idea. What we could do is we could choose a legendary creature or thing, and we all take our own spin on what kind of commander deck we would bring if that was the card that we were to bring.
Different ideas without building the actual decks, but
But the same creature. Same commander. Everyone does a different take.
Commander.
Either everyone does a different take in their personal time, or as an actual video, we discuss what cards are going in and what cards are not going in, and then maybe that deck might get played in a later episode.
Sounds good.
Yeah, that'd be good.
So ideas floating around. So yeah, just let us know in the comment section below if you enjoyed it, what you want to hear, etc. But yeah, we will see you on the next episode where we unbox Theros and hopefully we get some of the cards that we've mentioned.
Yes, definitely. Fingers
and
crossed.
Thanks for tuning in.
Thanks for tuning in yet again. It's Pass the Turn. I've been Aaron Francis.
I've been Joshua Dunn.
And I've been not so special guest anymore, Troy Stowe.
Not so special guest. The most special guest.
Regular guest, Troy.
Yeah, he's gonna be on the graphic now on the page, Troy. On that note, thanks for tuning in.
Yeah, thanks. Bye.
Bye.